Well, hello, and welcome. The Soul Reader will start in just a few moments, but if you are listening to this in replay, you don't have to listen to this part. You can just fast forward and get right into the show. If you are listening to this in replay and you're new to Fireside, there's a couple of things you can do when you're in the show live. You can hit any one of the emojis across the bottom, which is the clap or the laugh or and hello, Lily. The show will start in just a moment. It's good to see you here. You can hit any of those emojis and we will hear it, and the audience will hear it and see it, and that will be great. Also, if you have a comment or question, one of the easiest ways to do it is just hit the Ask button you see down there across the bottom. And you hit an emoji and put in your comment or question. And we will get right to you, or more than likely, my producer Jill will get right to you and recommend it to me. So that's kind of some of the things you can do. Also, if you want to request to speak while you're in the show, on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see what looks like a mic on a stage. Hit that and you can just press send, and it'll send us a message that you would like to speak or come to the stage. Or you can hit an emoji there and type in a comment. And actually, there's no emojis there, but you can type in a comment also and hit send. But you will always also send your request. Again, the show will be starting in just about a minute, so I will see you soon.
It's no secret. It's plain to see. I love you, and you love me.
Wow, I'm here again. You know, lately with Fireside, it's difficult to tell when I'm on and when I'm not. So here I am. We are having a few difficulties here, but I think I'm still here. I believe I am, but I'm not sure. And I don't have anyone in the audience anymore to tell me because Lily was here earlier. So I'm kind of winging this until we can see whether everything is working properly. Yes, that is what we're doing. So I haven't. Now I got the thumbs up. Okay, so everything is working. So let's get into the show. Let's do it. Okay, I am Anthony Cordova, Tony C, the man about love, the soul reader. Yes, I am. So, for those of you that haven't heard this show before, and you may be watching this in replay, the reason I call myself the Soul Reader and this show is called the Soul Reader is because I am a psychic natural born empath. My specialty is connecting to people's souls. That's what I do best. So I don't read minds. I don't particularly tell you your future, but I can. I can kind of loosely, but I'm not going to tell you like on September 13th this is going to happen to you. I might say, "Oh, in the future, in the near future, or maybe in a year or so, or I might say in a few months, this will happen if you continue on the path you are, and you may be on a good path, which is a good thing." So that's kind of how I do it. I am not a medium, although I have communicated with souls on the other side, and I try to keep everything simple. So when I say on the other side, I'm talking about people that may have passed on that I connect to on the other side, but they usually find me. I don't find them. So that's kind of how that works. Now, the first two episodes, this is episode number 5, and this episode is You Are Stronger Than You Know. You are stronger than you know. And I'm going to get into that in the first segment, which is called Tony's Mind Mashup. And then the next segment we get to after that will be Tony's Soul Reading. And that's where I will do a free reading for anyone that would like one. So that's how the show works. But what I'm going to do first, since I started this show, I challenge myself and I challenge all the audience members to write down one thing a day, just one thing a day about how they feel about themselves or something they love about themselves. So I've been writing each day something I love about myself. So I'm going to read what I wrote down this week. And it's interesting. And mind you, when I do this, I am not trying to say, "Oh, I'm so great. I love myself so much. I am just wonderful." What I'm getting at is that in order for us to become happy with ourselves, we also have to learn to love ourselves. Now, the thing is, on a day to day basis, we may do something and think, "Oh, I really love that I was able to do that. I really love that about myself." And all positive things. You want to look at all the positive things you do as something you love about yourself. If you hurt someone on purpose and you say, "Oh, I love that I hurt people on purpose," that's not a good thing to love about yourself. So you're trying to look at all of the positive things that you love about yourself. So this is not a ego thing for me. I'm just trying to get us on the same page with how we feel about ourselves. Just how we feel about ourselves. So I'm going to get right into it. So last week, and that was the 26th. So last week, the 26th, and let me see, I got to press some buttons here. What I wrote was, ooh, okay, this one, this one is interesting. I haven't looked at this list since I wrote it. So I wrote down, "I love that I try to show people my true self instead of who they think I am or who I used to be or who they remember me as if we grew up together and or something like that. If we went to high school together, um, at different points in my life, and I'm sure this goes for other people, we grow and we change and we mature. So I like that now I try to show people who I am at this point, who I am now. So I really do love that about myself. On Thursday, I wrote, I love that I make myself vulnerable. So that is also telling people, and I do this all the time, and people that watch the show know this. I tell people all the time that I love them. I always do it. And I do that really to try to spread some love. Now, I say that to some people, and being that I'm an empath, I can say that to some people and it makes them angry. But that doesn't make me angry because they become angry because I say it, because a lot of people will believe I'm up to something, that I can't really be that way. Not really. Who is that way? Nobody's that way. I am. So, yes, I make myself vulnerable, which is a good thing to do. Another thing I do is sometimes, and I really do love this about myself, I just give stuff away. If I see someone needs something, is in need of something, or they're not able to provide this thing on their own, if I have it, I may give it to them. I just may give it to them. So it could be a homeless person. It could be actually. I used to sell things at a flea market. I'm gonna tell this quick story, or at least try to make it quick. And this older woman, maybe she was in her early 80s, and she came by and she picked up some kitchen utensil, and I only had it for sale for $2. And she picked it up and she looked at it and she looked at it a bit and then she put it back down. And then she picked it up again, looked at it, put it back down, then she walked away. In about 30 minutes, she came back. She did the same thing. Picked it up, looked at it, put it back down, stood there for a bit, and left. She came back a third time, and she's doing the same thing. So I approached her, and I said, ma'am, would you like that item? She said, yes, I would like that. I would like it, but I'm trying to figure out whether I can afford it. And it was a $2 item. It was $2. And so I said to her, I said, well, if you need it, here. And I gave it to her. I just gave it to her. That little item didn't make a difference to me. If I look at how much I paid for it, it was probably less than a penny. But she needed it. And she couldn't afford it or figure out whether she could afford it because it was $2. So I gave it to her. And she says, really? I said, yes, really. This is yours. Here, it's yours. Take it. And she says, oh, thank God. You are a true blessing. No one has ever given me anything in my whole life. And she's 80 something years old. Thank you. And she started to cry. So it doesn't take much to help someone. Not much at all. And she really appreciated it. And I was happy that I could do that for her. Okay, let's see. So let me see. That was Friday. Let's move on to Saturday. And who is it we have in our audience? Because I can't see with the new font, Jill. Is it?
It's Laura.
It's Laura. Hello, Laura. I'm happy to see you here. Thank you. And we will be getting to the soul readings um, probably within 10 to 15 minutes, probably 10 minutes. So if you'd like one, I'll be available for that. And if you haven't been here before, Laura, what I do, I am a psychic, natural born empath. I've been reading people for over 30 years passively. This is the first time I've really come out in public to do this. So I'm happy that you're here. So welcome, 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 welcome. Really happy that you're here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Where was I? We was on Thursday. Okay. I love Oh, and if you want to know what I'm doing now, I write a list every day. One day, each day I write down something I love about myself and I challenge the audience to do the same. So on Tuesday, I think I said Thursday, but Tuesday, I wrote down, I love that I will take action to change a situation that I'm in. I will not sit around and say, oh, woe is me. What am I going to do? This is so awful. No, I take action. I change my situation for the better. So that is something I definitely try to do. And actually, that's it. That is it for last week till today. So that is what I do.
So Laura said thank you for welcoming her. And now Connie is in the audience as well.
Hello, Connie, and hello, Monica just came in. Hello, Monica. And I was in your show until I had to go to the green room. So thank you for being here, Monica. We're always happy to see you. Like, for real. All right. So right now we're going to get into Tony's mind melt.
Mashup.
Oh, look, I don't even know my own segment. Yes, it's the Tony Mind Mashup. And I came up with that segment, and I'm always calling it the wrong thing. But that's okay, because I can laugh at myself, so it's not a problem. Yeah, it's all right. So in this week's Tony's Mind Mashup, I'm going to talk about you are stronger than you know. All of us are stronger than we know. And how do I know this? I know this because I found out I am stronger than I know. And part of the way I did that, which helped me get to that point, which is I read this book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And it's by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And this book helped change my life. As some of you know, most of my life, I was severely depressed. And I hid it well. I hid it well from everybody. As a matter of fact, I went into a career where I didn't have to be around anyone for days. So that just fit me perfectly. So that was the only way I was able to maintain just staying away from people. So I mean, I was severely depressed, and I thought it was just life. Well, this is life. You're depressed. Nothing goes well. All bad stuff. I'm here. I'm existing. All of these types of thoughts. Suicidal thoughts. I wish I wasn't here. I wish I was somewhere else. And when I said somewhere else, that meant dead. That meant not here, not on this planet. So not until Jill and I got married. Actually, I was diagnosed with depression a few years before Jill and I got married, but um, I was that way my whole life. So, but it finally got so bad where I got some help for it, and I was on medication, and I used to call them the happy pills. Took my happy pill, I was good. But then after 6 months or so, the happy pills stopped working. I go back to the doctor, they'd increase the medication, and I'm on the happy pills again. So that went on for a couple of years until the highest dosage of medication no longer worked. By this time, Jill and I had gotten married, and I thought life was good. I thought life was good. Yeah, I was depressed, but hey, it's as good as it gets for me. So, but Jill encouraged me um, to do something about it. And then all at the same time, I read the book I just told you about, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I will show it to you again. Okay. Now, this book really helped change my life. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a neurosurgeon, and he was in a terrible cycling accident, and it severed his spine. And the doctors wanted to do surgery, but being that he's a neurosurgeon, so I don't want to do that. So instead, he decided he would heal his spine by just using his mind. Now, this book that he wrote, it is spiritual and it's analytical. That works for me. I have an analytical mind, and I have a creative mind, and I have a spiritual mind. So the book connected to me. If you don't have that type of mind, the book may not be for you. But anyway, I've read that book. And at the same time, I got therapy. And I realized, and I also started to meditate. So by reading that book, I realized that I have the power. I have the strength to change my situation. Actually, I just talked about changing my situation is something I love about myself. Well, this is one of the things that I did, and really it did change my life. So between meditation, therapy, and reading that book, I started working on that. And I began to change my mind. I began to change my thought process on how I see things. The meditation helped me focus or find the point where in my life when I started doubting myself, when I started seeing myself as less than, as not good enough through meditation. So once I was able to do that, and I went to counseling also, which I only had to go to for maybe a month and a half. Um, and the therapist helped me uh, find other situations that had affected me in a negative way in my life. And probably within 2 months, I was able to reduce my medication. Now, I'm not telling anyone to quit their depression medication. I am not a doctor. So I'm not encouraging anyone to just do this. Only do it if you have the training to do it, if you learned how to do it. So never just take yourself off your medication. But what I did was I started reducing the medication little by little, little by little. And then after about 4 months, maybe 5, I was completely off the medication. And I felt great. I didn't feel depressed anymore. I didn't have those thoughts all the time. I don't want to be here. I just don't want to be here. They stopped. They stopped. And now, even the smallest things, we don't live in a perfect world. I sure don't live in a perfect world, and everything doesn't go rosy all the time. Stuff happens. But the moment I feel a twinge of, oh, this is messed up. Whenever I try to get ahead, something knocks me back down. If I feel a twinge of those types of thoughts, I stop. And I say, no, this is just life. Stuff happens to everybody. It's how we handle it. It's how we approach it, which makes the difference on how it affects us. So it changed my life in that way. And I know they say never, but I am saying never. I will never be depressed again. Never. No way, no how. Because I know how to control it now. Now, you have the same ability. Everybody has the same ability to change their thought process. But we have to figure out where the problem is. And that comes through, like for me, meditation, therapy, and reading Dr. Joe Dispenza's book. But I'm going to go further when we're talking about we're stronger than we know. And we are really stronger than we know. So life was going on. Everything was good. Everything was really good. I had no complaints. I wasn't becoming wealthy, but I had no complaints. We were living a decent life. All was good. And one day, I was healthy. I was in good shape. I've always been pretty strong. I was still pretty strong, even though I was getting older. So one day I'm loading up my utility trailer, something I did quite often. And all of a sudden I started feeling tired. I started feeling exhausted. And not 10 minutes in, I had to stop and sit down. And I probably sat down for 30 minutes. My heart wasn't beating, crazy or anything. I just lost all energy. I lost all strength. So I didn't finish unloading the trailer. I went home, got in the bed, and went to sleep for 12 hours. Woke up just as tired. All at the same time, my hand started shaking. First it was my left hand, then it was my right hand. Then they both would shake. Then my mobility started leaving me. I couldn't raise my arm any higher than this, either one of them. And then my legs started shaking. And I got weaker and weaker and weaker. We have a second floor in our house. Once I got up to the top of the stairs, I would get in bed and I would sleep for 12 hours. And I wasn't depressed. I was weak. So I did seek my doctor's help. And my doctor did prove that there was something wrong with me. But she didn't know what. So she ordered all types of tests. I've taken several MRIs. I went to the neurologist. I did all types of physical therapy. I kind of did everything I could, but I wasn't getting better. I wasn't getting better. I had no strength. All my muscles started leaving me, and I had nothing. I could do nothing. Mind you, I always did things physical. The art I create is physical. It takes some strength and some dexterity to create the art I do with reclaimed objects. I wasn't able to do that. I had nothing. I had no strength. And again, shaking all the time. And the pain, severe pain on all my joints, everything. So they sent me to the what's the name of the doctor that handles arthritis and all of that. What is that name? I forget. I forget what they call that doctor. Went to that doctor too, and they told me I was old. You're just old. That's all that's wrong with you. But a few months ago I could do everything. A few months ago I didn't have the pain. A few months ago I didn't have anything. I was good, healthy. So the final blow was, and they thought I had MS, they thought I had this, they thought I had lupus, they came up with every kind of thing you could think of. They did heart tests on me that they took my blood and then they froze my blood to do this other test. The final blow for me was they did this test where they take needles that are about 12 inches long and they attach these electrodes to them. And all down the right side of my body, they took these needles and stuck them into me all the way down to my bone. To my bone. I mean, when you hit bone, that's how far down they stuck them in me. And then it was attached to this electrical machine that would put like, I don't know how many volts, like 1,000 volts into me. And they'd flip the switch. And I'm jumping like crazy. I have no control of my arm and all of that. My arms, my legs, they did it all down one side of my body. And each time they increased the electricity they put through me. So I'm thinking, finally, they're going to figure out what's wrong with me. A few days later, they got the results. And I'm figuring, finally, I'm going to be able to get healed. They said, we don't know what's wrong with you. We don't know what's wrong with you. Your nerves are working right. Everything's working. We don't know what's wrong with you. I said, well, what's next? We don't know. There's no other doctors to send you to. There's nothing we can do. And they sent me on my way. So I was fed up. Now, this had been going on 6 to 7 months. I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to do anything around the house. I couldn't do anything because I was so weak and shaken. All of these shakes, even just trying to get a cup of coffee, I'm just shaking. So I said, that's it. I'm done. I am going to heal myself. And I start using the practices in the book I'm telling you about, breaking the habit of being yourself. And Jill, do you have a comment?
Well, speaking of healing yourself, when you were talking about your meditation process, Connie asked, what was your meditation process? How often? How long?
Well, that is a good question, Connie. Thank you for that. Now, when I meditate, and I don't know whether it's because I'm an empath or not, a lot of people say it's so difficult for them to meditate. We so often hear that Clear your mind. Clear your mind, and that's how you meditate. But, when you get quiet and still and you try to clear your mind, all kinds of stuff pops in your head. It's hard to calm the noise. Very difficult to do that. So when I meditate, I do it with a purpose. I have a question. So when I meditate, I'm focusing on that question and looking for the answer to that question. So that's how I do it. So whenever I have an issue and I don't know which way to go, I can meditate and I ask the question, how do I do this? How do I accomplish this? Where did my pain come from? How did this happen? How did that happen? Why am I the way I am? When did that happen? Well, hello, Career. I see Career just came in. It's good to see you back. I'm telling a story right now about how powerful our minds are and the times that I have able to heal myself by a different thought process. So, Connie, I hope that answered that question. So again, I couldn't do anything for 6 to 7 months. Doctors told me, so I'm bringing you up to speed, Career. Doctors told me they don't know what's wrong with me. I had no strength. I was shaken. I had no control of my muscle strength. I had no muscle strength at all. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So I was fed up. I said, I'm going to heal myself. And let's see. I know you weren't here, but this is the book I'm talking about real quick that helped me heal myself, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I say to myself, I can do this. I can heal myself. And I did start to meditate. I started meditating on healing myself. And Jill, do you have something?
Yes, Career just wrote, yes, career, or, oh, hang on. I lost it. Hang on. Oh, it won't come back for me. But he was saying team healing yourself.
Team, yes, yes. And this really works. So I started meditating. Now, when I say meditating, I didn't just sit down and meditate. I did it throughout the day when I was doing anything. I would meditate. People don't realize you can meditate throughout the day while you're doing other things. You can meditate. It's all what you want to focus on, what you want to focus your mind on, and that's what it's about. And to make it short, because I've been talking for 36 minutes now, so to make it shorter, I kept meditating that I am healed, that my body is as strong and my blood is as strong and as pure as the day I was born. Every day. Any idle thought, that's what my thoughts were. And it took about 2 weeks. And I noticed the shaking, the tremors started going away. First in my legs, then in my arms. Now I couldn't move my arm any higher than this. Then I was slowly able to move it more and more and more. I couldn't do this when I had the ailment that no one could identify, no doctors could identify. And it took a while. But after about 3 months, I was able to take a job and go back to work because by this time, all our savings were gone. So I took a job, underpaying job, just to see whether I could last at a job. And I was not completely healed yet. And to be honest, I am not feeling like back to normal to just recently. And this happened maybe 3 years ago. So I was recovering the whole time. But the point is, I use my mind to heal my body from something the doctors could not identify. And someone I've told this story. Well, I haven't told this complete story before, but people was, aren't you afraid it's going to come back? No, not really. I'm healed. I'm healed. I'm good. So, getting back to, we are stronger than we know. No matter what your spiritual beliefs are, the Creator has given us the strength to do amazing things. All we have to understand is that we can truly do these things. In later episodes, I'll tell you some more of the things I can do just by using my mind. And it's factual. And I know several people that have cured themselves of cancer, that have cured themselves from some other paralysis, like from a car accident. Doctors say you'll never have movement of your arm again. You'll never dance again. And they've been able to overcome it just by using their mind. Just by using their mind. So understand how strong we are. Please understand how strong we are, because it'll make a better life for all of us. So, we are getting ready to do Tony's soul reading. Now remember, when I do this, I'm tapping into you, to your emotions, to your soul, to how you feel. This show is all about you. It's all about us. So we can live a better life. Because it's hard to do that if we don't know who we truly are. I know who I truly am. I want you to know who you truly are. Now, here comes the scary part. A lot of people are afraid for me to get in there, to feel who they are. And I don't want you to be. I wish you no harm. I only have love for you. And this stuff is, it's really sensitive stuff, because, I'm not answering those questions about, are I'm looking for the deep questions. The deep questions. The superficial stuff, that's all fine and dandy. If that's what you want to know and I'm able to answer it, I will. But I want to really connect with you. That is what I really want to do. So, does anyone in the audience want a reading? And the way I do readings is conversational. So it's going to be just like we're sitting here just talking. So while you're talking, I probably ask you a question like, do you have any concerns? I might ask you, how was your week? I might ask you something like that. But that is when I will pick up and try to connect to you to help with your concerns. So one more time, if there's any questions, I will answer them, or at least I will try to answer them. I will try to read you. If no one wants a reading, that is okay. I can tell you more stories about some of the things I can do using my mind. And everything is quiet. Everybody's quiet. But that's okay. So, yeah, it really is. It really is. I smile, I laugh, and all is good. Yes, Jill.
Laura wants to know if you can connect with loved ones.
Well, I did answer that question earlier. Um, I have connected with loved ones, but I am not a medium. Usually, people from the other side, souls from the other side, connect with me. Um, I have never really sought them out for someone. But what I can do for you, Laura, if there is a concern about your loved one or a concern about how you have handled them passing on, the pain that you might have, the questions you might have, I get to your soul. So I will try to pinpoint why it is you have that concern. Like, for instance, with me, um, I'm not afraid of death at all, because for me, life and death are not that far apart. It's for me, people that have passed on are just, you know how they say they're on the other side? Well, that's how I see it. I see them as just on the other side of the door. So I can still connect with them. In my case, I feel them. So I feel them on the other side. So when you have a concern or you're grieving because someone passed on, that's what I help with. Yes, Jill.
Laura says, sorry I logged in after you said that. Thank you, but I don't have concerns about anyone. Thanks so much.
Okay. Now, even if anyone in their audience and your life is just great, you have a great job, you have a nice household, you have great family, everything is working great. Life is good. But when you're alone, you feel like something's missing. Something's missing. I don't know what it could be because my life is great. My life is perfect. So even people that are really happy and everything is going right for them, and I'm not talking no depression, no nothing, can still have some type of concern. Yes, Jill.
Career. The full name, actually, we've never said the full name. Career Success Secrets says, I would love to generate more money.
Okay. Now, for me to read you about generating more money, and you're talking about career, I do need you on the stage and I do need you to be on video. That way I can connect with you easier. And I don't need your real name. It's not necessary for what I do. But if you would like me to tell you something, I would. And Jill's something to say, Jill?
Career is gone.
Career is gone. You see this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. So I wish no one any harm, but people do tend to be afraid of me when they find out what I can do. Oh, career is back. So I don't want career to be afraid to connect with me. I wish you no harm. I just want the best for you, and I have love for you, career. So if you would like me to help you with that, I probably can. But I would need you to be on the stage on video. So you can ponder that. But I wish you all nothing but good and success. So, career, are you coming? And if not, it's okay.
I sent an invitation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So,
I don't know if everyone knows how. Oh,
here he comes. He's on the stage. Now we just need you to get
I
you
can
the
I can see
video.
him.
Okay.
You
There
can't
he
see him.
is. Yes, he's there. Let me try to and welcome to the stage. Let me try to get where I can see you better because the app is crazy. Okay. Say something to me, career, so I can hear your voice.
Hey, thanks for having me today. I am new to Fireside, so I accidentally hit the wrong button and it kicked me out of the room.
That's okay. Even us creators, they just changed, they updated the app, and we're all getting used to it also. But I'm glad you are here. So, will you tell me the full name you use again? It's career. I didn't write it down.
Yeah, the username is Career Success Secrets. I have not figured out how to change my name to my actual name, which is Mike.
Oh, hey, Mike. Nice to meet you. Real nice to meet you. I always like Mikes. I don't know why.
Anthony, you have excellent taste.
Yeah. So, let's see. So, I'm gonna need a little bit more. So, I'm feeling that you kind of feel like you're an expert, um, and succeeding in business, your own businesses, uh, probably. So, I think you were saying that your question was your question, how do I become successful? What was the question?
So I'm very careful about how I use my language. So my statement was, I would like to make more money.
Okay. What type of business are you in?
I am in a career coaching business, and so I help people. I help people get promoted in their careers, find jobs that they love, and ultimately get promoted and make more money, as well as the job search portion of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. This is good. If I pause, it's because I'm trying to connect to you. So I'm going to have to ask you some questions. I got to get going in the right direction. So, when you coach people, and this is a sensitive question. When you coach people, are you coaching them strictly so they can succeed, or are you coaching them so they can succeed and you can succeed immensely?
It's a great question. I would definitely say it's the first one.
Okay.
So in terms of my coaching, my intention is always to keep myself out of it in terms of helping my client understand where they want to go, and then providing them with information or tools that will help them get to where they want to go more quickly.
Okay. And when I give people readings, some things, this isn't an absolute science. Okay. Um, Sometimes I feel like I'm 70% on the right track, sometimes 80%. Sometimes I feel like I'm 99.9% on track. For you, I'm down around that 70% area. So if you truly, and I know you truly do, you want to succeed even more than you do now. So, and you've stated that. You want to make more money. How can I be successful? Make more money. The way to do that is this is for you. This is not everyone, but this is for you. You have to break the connection with the money, with the wealth. Because this is what you feel validates you. You feel that this gives you your strength. This gives you status. Not greedy status. So that's a bad thing. But you're feeling like becoming successful and making more money makes you better, makes you complete. Now, if you make that money, then you can do all the things you want to do. You can help all the people you want to do. You can grow an empire, but it's not about building the empire. It's not about succeeding. It's about your self-worth, how you feel about yourself. So when I say you need to break that connection with the money as your validation, that's when the money will come. That's when succeeding will no longer validate you. That's not the brass ring you're looking for. The brass ring that you need is to succeed without the money in your mind, without the money in your head. Once you sever that connection, there's no emotional connection to that money for you anymore. It's just doing what you're supposed to do. So you are a very kind person and you truly do want to help people and you want to do a good job. But what slows you down is connecting to the money as success. You're already successful. You're already doing what you want to do, but money can change how you go about something. Now, I'm not saying I'm getting ready to say something, but I'm not saying this is you. But in general, when people address money and how they look at money and how they value money, and especially when it's attached to how they feel about themselves, that's when a person will make a wrong decision. They don't make that pure decision. They make that decision, oh, if I do this, I will make more money. So you're kind of battling with, I want to help people to succeed, to I want to succeed. And this is how I do it. When I make this money, it will prove that I know what I'm doing. I can do this. And that gives you your validation, but that's not what you need for validation. You're already great. So severing that connection with the money, because that affects your decision making. So sometimes you're supposed to go right, but you go left. And logically, if someone else told you the same situation, you would say, don't do that. Don't go left. You need to go right. But sometimes you tell yourself to go left when you should be going right. And that's all because of the connection with money and the validation of yourself. So sever that. So I'm not saying forget about the money, don't charge your clients. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying slow down. Think about when you make a decision of which way your business is going to go and how it's going to get to the next level. And then things start to just fall in place easily. Things fall in place. Like right now, I'm in a place in my life where stuff just works. Stuff just works. Because once you start living in the right state of mind, you figure out what things you're doing that may hold you back. That's when everything starts to run smooth. I don't know if that helped any or if anything connected with you in that. Go ahead.
You've definitely given me some things to think about. I need to think more about the connection with money because for the longest time, I was actually never motivated by money, and I think that's where a lot of my successes come from in the past. I think there is the part that resonated with me the most is the part about self-worth and figuring out how to translate what that means for me. I think it's kind of comparable to the story that you were talking about healing yourself. Like, I come from a family of very unsuccessful entrepreneurs, and I think I've been on a lifetime journey of getting to the mentality that their story is not my story, and that it's okay for me to make dramatically more money than they did. So that's some of the stuff going on for me.
Yeah, well, this is really good because you have kind of pinpointed, not me, but you have pinpointed
Mm-hmm.
kind of where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So before you didn't care, you probably did, but you told yourself you didn't. But at a point, you knew your mindset had changed. So you consciously, hey, that's not going to be me. I'm going to show them how successful I am. I'm going to show them I can succeed. So we can get into where that comes from. Like, why do you have to show your parents and your family members that you can succeed where they didn't? Where does that come from? Now, if you meditate, you can probably pinpoint that. But it probably, and unfortunately or fortunately, most of the psychiatrists are right where they say most of this stuff has come from our childhood. And that's true. So if you can go back, if you meditate, you can go back and figure out, where did that happen? Where did that happen where I felt like I have to prove that I can do better than my parents? Where did that happen? How did I feel when I was a child and another business went bad and another business went bad and another business went bad for your parents? And I've worked for myself about my entire life. I understand the ups and downs. 1 minute you're on top, you're making tons of money, and the next minute you're not. So I understand, and I understand how that can affect a child. and how that plays on their mind. My issue, and I'm going to call it an issue, part of my depression that I had came from I had to prove that I was smarter than my siblings, because my siblings were very smart. But I had a learning disability. I was dyslexic, and I still am. Um, so I had to prove to them, oh yeah, I'm smart. Look how much money I can make. But again, that's coming from the wrong place. I shouldn't want to make money to prove that I'm smart. I shouldn't want to make money to prove that I'm better than someone else, or I can do it better than someone else. So when that's your drive, stuff goes wrong. Things might go right for a long time, but if you're still in that mindset, stuff goes wrong. And then we wonder, how'd that happen? I've done all the right things, but we may not have done the right things. We may have chosen left when we should have gone right, which is all on us. So when we can break down that connection to money being our value, that's how I value myself, by how much money I make. When we sever that connection, and this is really, I keep saying simple. I got a sign up here that says keep it simple, because the easier we make things, the less complicated, the smoother things go. And this goes for our life. It goes for business. It goes for whatever you do. If you break things down and just try to keep it simplistic, even complicated things, I always think, how can I make this easier? How can I make it easier for me to do this very complicated thing? So when you're able to figure that stuff out, things really start moving smoothly. Even when things don't go right, they'll end up going smoothly because of where your mind is. Any comments? Mike?
I'm sure I do. I don't know how long your show goes, so I'm trying to respectful of not talking for.
It's a funny thing that you did that, because my producer Jill, which is also my wife, the show's supposed to be an hour, and I've gone over each episode, and this is episode 5. So if you do have something else to say, go ahead and say it, and then we'll start getting out of the show after. Because I really want to hear what you have to say.
I think. I think most of your comments are very valid. I don't feel it's something that I have to prove to other people. I think it's more of a at the time when I was most successful in my life. And by the way, I am tied for the happiest that I've ever been. And I know there's some areas of my life that I want to get better taken care of. So my motivation for more money is 2 things. My motivation for more money is so that I have some debt I'd like to pay off. 2, I want to make more money so that I can support a family. And 3, I've realized that I can help more people in the world if I'm making more money. So those are my drivers. My things from my parents. My things from my parents are. I love them very much. They've been very loving parents, and so I think there's been a part of me that has tried to dim my light so that they don't feel so that they don't feel bad about themselves. I've actually felt some resentment from some people in my family because I did make more money. So in closing, I think what I'm working on is getting to the point of my self-worth and validation where, just like you healed yourself, is how can I esteem myself to a place where I automatically believe it and it's easy and whatever. And so I really liked what you said about how can I make this easier. I think that's probably the major takeaway for me.
I like that. I like that, and that's a good plan. I still want to caution you. The relation it's there is, and this one I'm better than 70% when I'm telling you this. I am probably 85%. There really is that connection with money and your family and your parents. And the thing is, you should never feel bad about your success. Never. And it's all about the money. You see? So
Mhm.
you're doing something positive. You're succeeding in life. You're making money and you want to do good things with the money as you make it. But you still have your family and maybe friends and all of that kind of want to pull you down because of that. The show before
Mhm.
this, I talked about positive and negative and positive and negative emotions and how they can affect a person. And do you want these things in your life, these negative things in your life? As much as you love your parents, your what they are doing to you is a negative thing, and it affects you in a negative way. So the connection to money and your family and love, all of these things are connected. So again, we're back to that connection of money
Mhm.
and your loved ones and love. And that's a strong connection. So I'm back to, you know, I know I'm repeating myself, but it really is the money issue.
Mhm.
And you should never have a feeling in your mind that, oh, if I make too much money, my parents are going to be more angry. They're going to give me more flack. They're going to give me more negative things to say. But me, I feel it's great you're making tons of money. That's a good thing. And you can do positive things with it, just as you said. So again, the connection to money, family, love. That's what you have to change in your mind
Yeah,
because
the
you're
way you
doing
said
good
it,
things.
the way
Go
you
ahead.
said it this time was much more clear to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Jill was passing, and you don't know my wife, Jill, but she's my producer on this show. She was holding up notes saying, "Oh, you're not being on point. You're not driving home the point." And yeah, that's probably too. So true. So I'm glad it connected with you better the second time I did it. And like I said, I'm like 85% on that part of it. Um, if you need some help with how to do that, we can do it in another show. Or I haven't set up my website yet, and all of that, so I'm not charging for anything yet. Matter of fact, if you want to talk about it some more, I'm going to give you a free 30-minute reading, and we can talk about it more in ways that you can sever that connection. with money, parents, and love. And the number actually is a number in numbers in the fortune cookie, so I don't have to read it. Are you familiar with the fortune cookie?
I am not.
Okay, so right under me, and it's real small. They've changed the screen, but you'll see some text going across the screen. Should be right under me. And then there's a little fortune cookie on the left-hand side.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah, if you click on that, that will have the information on how to connect to me.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
But you can also say the number aloud if you'd like.
And as my producer says, and I can also say the number aloud, which is 470-377-1731. 470-377-1731. And if anyone didn't catch that, you can always go back to the replay and check it out. And give me a holla. See what we can do. Well, Mr. Career, Mr. Mike, I thank you so much for coming up and speaking and sharing with all of us, because all of this stuff isn't easy to talk about on a show. So I really commend you for coming up and sharing. It's fantastic. I love it.
Well,
and I love what I do.
Thanks for having me. I love your loving energy, and I love how you are teaching people about how frigging powerful we are.
Oh, well, thank you. And we are. It's just amazing. We could doggone near do anything we want. We can't heal our own bones, though, or stuff like that. If you got a broken bone, you better go to the doctor, because we're not going to be able to do that on our own. Okay, we need somebody to put that thing back together. So cool. All right. Again, thank you so much. I hope you come back and see me next week on Tuesday. And also, I would love to hear from you, and we'll do that 30-minute reading. Should be cool.
Thanks, Anthony.
You're welcome. Oh, and he's off the stage. Great. Okay, before I start closing out the show, does anyone have any comments or questions? And otherwise, I will start getting out of this show. Anything, my love, my Jill?
No, you're good.
I'm good? Cool. I like that. So, I would like to thank everyone that has come to the show tonight. I always love seeing you here. Even if I've never seen you before, I have love for everybody that's in the audience. I have love for all the people that are watching this in replay. Check me out. I hope you come to the show live. I would love to feel your energy here, because I'm sure it would be all positive. I like good positive energy. The thing with being an empath, I have to open myself up for this show in order to, read people. And if you have a person that's not a positive person, it really can affect me. But it can really affect me if they're in a lot of pain. So I thank everybody that does come to this show. Let's see. Next week's show is going to be, let's make sure, that's episode 6. How do you love? How do you love? So this is talking about romantic love, family love, even love for a pet. How do you love? How do you love yourself? Which is very important, which is probably one of the most important. So how do you do that? So that's what we're going to do next week. Let me see, before I run out of the music you're hearing now is Feel Freedom by Mix Sound. The music I use for the open is Feel the Wave, and that's by Emo Ranu. I never can get his name right. Anyway, I screwed his name up. So, The next thing is for the Soul Reader. The music I played was Path of Less Resistance, and that's by AG Music. As usual, I love you all. Thanks for coming. Oh, I thank my producer too. So we'll catch you next time. Love you all. I'm going to turn off the video if I can figure that out. It's gone, Jill. It's gone. Jill, you have to turn me off. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah. Did you? You got me out? Am I gone?